I'm a fish boy who skates for Team X Blades with a leprechaun who plays basketball. Come to my smart house, meet my alien sister. Don't come hungry because I'll bet my mom can't cook.
Hello friends and welcome to the most stellanarious podcast on the internet. Ceetus-lupeedus, it's going to make you blow an O-ring. It's Mom Can't Cook and I'm one of your hosts, Andy.
And I'm also here, Major. It's Luke Westaway, the other host.
How's your O-ring? Has it blown?
My O-ring is well and truly blown.
You may be wondering what we're talking about. Well, we're
talking about my blown O-ring.
We're using cool 21st century slang.
Yeah.
As you will encounter in today's film, which we're watching, which is, Luke?
It's Zenon, Girl of the 21st Century. It's an absolute treat. It's about a girl called Zenon, and she lives in 2049. She lives on a space station, and it's about how she tries to balance her cool futuristic life with also saving all of her family and friends from disaster, and also maybe a little bit of boy trouble.
Tonight,
Ceetus-lupeedus!
blast off with a Disney Channel original movie, Zenon, Girl of the 21st Century.
No air duct cruising, no recycle bin diving, and please try to stay out of restricted zones.
She's your typical cosmic kid who's been grounded.
Shuttle departure in 3 minutes.
But when disaster hits home base, it's up to Zenon to save her family and friends up in space.
Everybody up there is in danger mortis.
Watch Zenon, Girl of the 21st Century, starring Kirsten Storms and Raven. Tonight at 8/7 Central on Disney Channel.
Can I tell you, Andy,
Please.
that I am feeling afraid?
Of what?
This is the podcast's greatest challenge yet, because encapsulating this film is going to be, especially in an audio medium, it's our biggest challenge yet.
Yeah, so this is a sci-fi DCOM, hard sci-fi I would call it, the equal of anything Asimov or Frank Herbert ever wrote.
I mean, it's very much in the space opera oeuvre, isn't it?
Yeah. So as you say, this film is set in 2049. Mm-hmm. We are introduced to our main character, Zenon Kar is her name.
K-A-R.
Yeah, K-A-R. She's a typical 21st century girl who lives on a space station that's kind of in geosynchronous orbit. The way we should start this podcast is by just sort of talking about Zenon's life aboard the space station, what life is like in 2049 for a girl of the 21st century.
Yeah, well, the first thing to note is that Zenon very much lives in a world apart, in a literal sense, because she's on a space station, but also the space station that she lives on is the only space station, right? There's Earth and there's the space station.
It's a research station. Her parents are scientists. They're doing research into bone marrow density or some such thing. Zenon is being brought up on this space station, and there's a sort of regular life for kids aboard this space station. I think everyone else there is either sort of maintenance workers or scientists.
Yeah,
right?
Researchers, or they are, officials involved in the running of the station.
Yeah, and the station is being bankrolled by a corporation who do sort of communications and science stuff. But it must be said that the station is starting to show signs of aging. There are a lot of sort of technical issues with the space station.
Shit. It looks like it was built in 1997.
Well, I mean, there is that, yeah. But also, the elevators are constantly sparking. People have to use maintenance corridors to get around.
Yeah, in the background, you can constantly hear like tannoy announcements being like gravitational failure in sector 7G, that kind of thing.
Decompression drill, like it's something that might happen. The children are always going through the trash for some reason. Zenon is making the best of it up here. She's popular. She's got a good group of friends surrounding her. She's got a friend Nebula,
played by Raven
Simone, ex of the Cosby Show.
That's so Raven,
and then just Raven, I think. Anyway, she's great. She's obviously great. Raven Simone's always good.
She's cornered the Raven brand, really.
Oh yeah, but yeah, all sorts of stuff is going wrong on this space station. One of the notes I had of a thing that's going wrong that's being reported is that the fusion trays in the cafeteria are misfiring. What is that? What is a fusion tray and why does it fire?
Well, Andy, look, we, hobbling along in the year 2022, have plastic trays when we go to the cafeteria, right? And we place our food on them, and then we have to move the food manually into our mouths and faces. Such hardships are non-existent in the year 2049. I assume food is fired from the tray into your waiting mouth.
Via the fusion tray, a futuristic invention.
Yeah, well, I mean, it takes an awful lot of fusion to power the hurling of the food. You have to remember as well that the food is denser. Not just because it's in space, but because they talk about the food in Zenon. It's a kind of hydroponically grown, sort of dense nutrient mass.
Nutrient-rich food ball.
Yeah, that Zenon is super pleased with, even though she's basically eating bird food. And and she spurns Earth hot dogs and hamburgers.
But yeah, Zenon is basically introduced to us as a being of pure chaos. She sleeps in. She has to race around the space station, or the space day. As they call it. There's a lot of futuristic slang in this film.
Yeah.
And we'll sort of explain the terms as we come to them. But the one you need to know here, space day is space station.
Yep.
And Ceetus-lupeedus is the kind of exclamation of dismay.
I don't think it's necessarily dismay, because you can also say that you're inked out if you want to describe yourself as sad. I think Ceetus-lupeedus is just a sort of like, it's like
oh
OMG. I think
I think you're right. The kids, they have school up in space. They're doing an Earth history module where they're talking about President Clinton, but not the President Clinton you're thinking of. Oh no, they're talking about the current...
also not that other one you're thinking of.
Yeah, they're talking about President Chelsea Clinton. Yeah, because that was a sort of fun idea in the 90s, wasn't it? That relatives of presidents would become presidents.
Yeah,
as opposed to a sort of thing you would dread now. Apparently, the big thing about Chelsea Clinton's presidential reign is that she's taken a forceful and unwavering stand in favour of the harvesting of underwater vegetation.
We actually received an email from Brian Champion, who pointed out that the movie was released in the final weeks of the impeachment of Bill Clinton. So thanks, Brian Champion, for that.
But yeah, so we see Zenon at school, and also we see Zenon in her downtime is a very big fan of a band called Microbe.
Yeah.
And there's a big contest that this band Microbe are holding. They're going to be travelling up to the space station to do the first ever rock concert in space, and one lucky Microbe fan will get to dance on stage with Proto Zoa.
Wait, I still haven't told you the best part. Not only is Microbe coming, but they're having a contest, and the winner gets to dance on stage with Proto Zoa. Can you believe it? I'm gonna get to dance with Proto Zoa.
Who said it's gonna be you?
What is she? New in the galaxy?
Much more on Proto Zoa to come. Andy, the way we've talked about this, my concern is that if you're one of the many Mum Can't Cook listeners who justifiably don't want to watch these films and just want to hear us talk about them, I am picturing something, listening to you describe it. I'm picturing gleaming white walls. I'm picturing translucency. Okay. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, what I would ask you to instead imagine is a 90s laser tag center.
Yes, that's it. It looks like a very visually oppressive place to live. There are constant flashing blue and red lights. There's a kind of
venting steam into the corridors.
Yeah, there's just always smoke. The corridors are very cramped, and they are crammed full of people. The layout of this place is absolutely wild. You see exterior shots, but I don't really understand how the layout can possibly function, because it seems to just be several long corridors that everyone has to walk through at the same time.
People driving vehicles down them. And
the fashion is extremely colourful and pointy. Every fabric is in use.
Yep. Zenon absolutely loves it. She's like, at least I'm not down there. And she looks out of the window at Earth.
Yeah.
As if to say, like, what a dump.
And having grown up on the space station, she was born on Earth, I believe, but having, grown up and from her earliest memories been on the space day, she and her friends are extremely disparaging of Earth. There's a conversation, isn't there, where they're talking... she's talking with her friends about Earth, and they lament the many problems that they have down there on Earth, like disease,
germs, speeding trucks, earthquakes, madmen.
Madmen. You have to be wary of muggers.
Yeah,
they mention. Yeah,
Zenon has lived on this space station since she was 5, and she doesn't want to live anywhere else. And I guess it's kind of like if your parents took you to an Arctic research station when you were 5.
Yep.
And you were like, I love it here in the Arctic. I never want to experience anywhere else in the world.
Later, they go to Earth. I was expecting it to be a sort of desert ruin. From the
roaming gangs of marauders
mugged by Chelsea Clinton with
harvest your underwater vegetation.
Yeah, but actually, I mean, probably due to budget constraints, Earth remains largely unchanged from the way it is now.
Yeah. We also get to see like some of the shenanigans that they get up to. There's a lot of dumpster diving. They sort of repurpose technology into jewelry, which is kind of cool. And also she goes on a spacewalk. She steals a spacesuit and she kind of goes out into the vacuum of space to look at a solar storm.
Yeah. I think this is
there are windows, but she wants to get like 3 feet closer to it. so she floats out into the vacuum of space.
Well, see, it's like 30 million light years away, but she wants to get 3 meters closer.
Yeah. So these children who don't know how to operate any of this equipment just sort of boot her out into space.
Would you say that Xenon's spacewalk is the earliest point in a DCOM yet where we can say that the rest of the film is her neurons firing as she dies? Because...
Yeah, she just, like George Clooney in Gravity, she just floated off and as the oxygen left her brain.
She imagined a wacky escapade where she got to meet Proto Zoa, her hero. Yeah,
before she goes out into space, she says, "Let's rock and roll, woo." Something which I don't think a teenager now would say, let alone in 27 years' time.
You think?
Yeah.
I think Commander James, what's his name? James Hadley. Is that right? James
Hadron.
James Hetfield.
Yeah, the James Hadron Collider.
Yeah, James Hadron Collider. When he did the Red Bull jump out of space.
Yeah.
I think I might be conflating astronauts and Red Bull stunts.
Red Bull stuntmen. My favourite thing is that during the post-spacewalk bollocking, Xenon's mum puts on a mad hat, which is some sort of future hat that makes you less stressed.
That's great. I mean, the technology in this film is all over the place because on the one hand you have a magic hat that cures your mood, but then on the other hand, like, there's no internet, there's no quick and easy way of communicating with Earth. In fact,
there are video calls. She has a
sort of, but
she has a data zap memo minder that you can use to video call people.
Bless you for writing that down. It's such treasure. The data zap.
The data zap memo minder.
But there's no like instant. There's no internet basically. You know, on this, so they can do like high tech video calls. But if someone wants to say inspect the space station, you know, they have to physically go there and
physically be
and
present.
walk around. And if someone wants to know what's wrong with the space station's systems, they have to go to a particular room and put in a little disc, and you know, it's quite 90s-y sort of tech.
But also, they have a stress helmet, and if that doesn't work, something called the chill chamber, which is only hinted at.
I assume the chill chamber is, I'm so fed up with my child, I'm going to be cryogenically frozen.
Until they're 2 years older.
Wait.
Their temperament might have evened out.
Wake me up when Zenon is 30 years old.
Get past these terrible teenagers. I've written down a few bits of slang.
Okay, yes, please.
So we've got stellanarious.
Yep.
Which means good. Ceetus-lupeedus, which we've talked about.
Yep.
Things being minor and major. So I've got time minor and tasks major.
Well, time minor means it won't take very long. Tasks major means it's a big job.
Yeah. Morning glorious, you would say to someone as a greeting.
Yep.
You're gonna go nova. No, supernova.
I guess, is that famous?
No, you're gonna get excited. You're gonna go crazy for this.
I will become excited. Sure.
Yep. Lunarious is good, but thermo is bad. I appreciate the level of future slang there is in this, because they could have just gone with, right, we'll just say Ceetus-lupeedus the whole time.
Yeah.
But it's like every
and they do say Ceetus-lupeedus more or less constantly.
It's like everyone is getting all gaseous on me.
Yeah.
Things are inky if they're bad.
When they're
Me and my
bad,
rads, meaning friends.
Yeah.
You're going to fully blow an O-ring unless you retrofire.
I would say that the problem that the film has slang-wise is that they introduce all of this really good and fun slang, and certainly if you kind of Google around, like, Ceetus-lupeedus is the one that will start every BuzzFeed article headline about Zenon, like, where the cast are now. Ceetus-lupeedus, you got to see in a blah, 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 blah. However, for my, the one that absolutely has my heart is fully blow an O-ring, obviously. Because Zenon says it to her mum. She says, you'd fully blow an O-ring if you had to return to Earth, right, mum?
Yeah.
And there's just a beautiful ambiguity as to whether blowing an O-ring means losing your temper or experiencing an incredible climax.
Oh, okay.
Did you not think that?
No, I didn't.
Blow an O-ring.
Right. No. To me,
come on, Andy, admit it. You'd fully blow an O-ring.
To my mind, it was more like to sort of wildly and uncontrollably defecate.
Okay, I can see both.
Yeah,
This is why it's the best slang term in the film, because it has that flexibility, like all of our best slang, like the word cool, like a lot of swear words,
Yeah.
It's adaptable, it's flexible. Blow an O-ring.
Blow an O-ring.
I'd blow an O-ring if I had to return to Earth.
Okay, so are we going or not? But yeah, so Zenon is having a great time. She's entering this microbe contest as well, we should point out. That's an important plot point. It doesn't really say what the criteria are for this contest to win.
It just that you can win.
Nebula has written an essay about what dancing on stage with Proto Zoa would mean to her.
I think she has interpreted the brief correctly. Or I would think that, except she doesn't win. Zenon wins.
Yeah, because Zenon has sort of carved a weird little homunculus sculpture of Proto Zoa.
Yeah. And she spends her nights rooting through trash like a little goblin, finding bits to glue on her little model of Proto Zoa. And then has the gall to insist that her life on the space station is good, when she's like waist deep in filth and garbage.
There's a scene where they literally dump fresh garbage onto her head.
Yeah, she's like,
and she's like, "Oh, nice.
Oh,
This'll
more
be good
shinies for my model.
Shinies for my homunculus.
For the little Protozoa that I
breathe
can
the
dance with.
breaths into him to breathe and live." Nebula is such a good friend because Zenon wins this contest that Nebula desperately wanted to win, and she is just delighted for Zenon.
Instead of being consumed with friendship-ending jealousy, as anyone would be.
But this is the point at which the sort of conflict of the movie starts to introduce itself, because the head of the company that funds this space station, Parker Wyndham, he's come to the space station to do a sort of inspection tour. And it's a very important day for the space station because they need funds to stop their aging space station from collapsing in on itself and killing everyone.
With the loss of all hands, yeah.
Yeah. So they really need to impress Parker Wyndham.
Yeah,
And
they're having like an
off.
Ofsted inspection, right?
Yeah, exactly. He's coming up there to see what his money is getting, and
which again he can't really be sure of from Earth because there's
simply no way.
There's simply no way of knowing.
Yeah.
So he has to go around and look at it all and go, oh yes, that's good, well done with that. And so everyone has to be on their best behaviour.
And he's brought his sort of sidekick assistant, a guy called Lutz, with him, who's wearing an extremely 90s suit.
Yep.
Even though it's the future,
it's very orange.
Yeah, that's fine. But yeah, Zenon is desperate to impress this Parker Wyndham because her shenanigans, could put the whole base at risk. And she doesn't want to do that. She's a good kid at heart. Yeah. So she's out to impress Parker Wyndham. But she senses something might be a bit off about this Parker Wyndham, mostly because he gets the name of the band Microbe wrong. He calls them Microscope. And she's like, what?
Do you remember when Gordon Brown said he liked the Arctic Monkeys? And everyone was
and that was it for his political career.
Yeah, exactly. And
he was dragged into Parliament Square, wasn't he, and beheaded?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
look it up. It's on Wikipedia.
Yeah,
but that it has that kind of energy, right? That sort of no, you don't.
Wait a minute.
If
you're lying about that, what else are you lying about?
Yeah, exactly.
Parker Wyndham. She follows Lutz around, and she notices that Lutz is trying to get into the sort of the main command center of the space station. So she sort of follows him in there and notices him using a disk to either put something onto a computer or take something off, but something nefarious is going on.
Yes, when we say disk, you're picturing something that is not what's in the film. It's more like a watch battery. It's
exactly like a watch battery. Yeah.
I mean, it probably is a watch battery that's been painted.
It's got like a pearlescent coating on it.
Yeah.
Wyndham does own this space station. You feel like he could just ask to go down there because he does own everything on the space station.
Yeah.
Just say, could I leave me alone in the command center for 5 minutes? Because I own this place.
The thing that makes this conversation difficult is that the film never really explains what the space station is researching or what this data is. So we're talking
density. For God's sake, the important bone density data.
Look, here are the facts. Here's what we know about the research. We know, because the film tells us, that it has to take place in anti-gravity. That's why they're in space. At one point, we see something like a ferret floating in anti-gravity, and it has the potential to save millions of lives.
Yeah,
so
millions of bones.
So
millions of bones could be denser.
You put those pieces together and try and figure out what they're doing up there.
I had a temporary job once after university, just like filing invoices for a biotech company.
Oh yeah,
and I didn't know what they did, and I couldn't figure it out. And I was trying to piece it together from the invoices of the things that they were buying.
Oh my god,
it was a bit like this. Yeah,
this sounds like a kind of an aloof indie puzzle game.
Yes, it would absolutely be that. But it was something to do with bone density, now that I think about it.
Really?
So, yeah, it was.
Oh my god. Well, Andy, so, all right. So, Zenon is set in 2049, right? They mention that this is the space station's 27th year in operation.
Oh my god.
Do the maths. It launched in 2022.
That's this year!
That's this year!
The Zenon space station is going up this year. Get in line.
The Wyndham ship, it's going up.
get on board.
Yeah, get on board while you can.
Get on the ground floor. Yeah. But yeah, so Lutz he's taken this data and he's put it on the little watch battery disc.
Yeah.
And he leaves the command center and then attempts to put it in his pocket, but sort of drops it and doesn't notice.
I mean, again, this is what happens when you don't have Dropbox, folks. You can easily just drop the sensitive information on the floor.
Yeah. So that's in play currently.
Yeah.
The secrets, whatever the secrets are, they're in play.
We have to be quite clear about this because I actually think this plot is quite complicated.
It is quite complicated
DCOM.
and a bit confusing, especially if you're a sort of child in the 90s.
But all we know now is Lutz dropped a disk that he had near the mainframe, and it's implied that he was up to something no good or that he didn't want people to know about. And Zenon picks up that disk, although she doesn't know what's on it yet.
Zenon doesn't pick up the disc.
Oh, right. God,
Nebula,
this is more complicated.
Yes, no, this is very complicated.
All right, sorry, go on.
Nebula later finds the disc in the trash and repurposes it into an earring for Zenon as a gift.
That's a weird coincidence. Okay, yeah.
So we cut to Parker Wyndham, who is saying he's completed his tour of the space station and he's delighted. And he is going to pledge an extra $500 million to continue its mission, ensure its survival and repairs. Everyone is loving it. But in the corner, Zenon is like, man, f*** this guy.
One of the reasons that she suspects Wyndham as well is because he's doing an odd kind of blinking thing. He winks all the time at everyone he's talking to. And I think the film absolutely sets you up to believe that he's some kind of android or robot, or that there's.
I didn't get that.
You didn't get it. I don't think this is a reach. Honestly, he's like kind of doing like a weird kind of like blink, blink kind of thing, and it's like, oh, what's he doing? Is he kind of navigating a HUD? It's like he's kind of using some kind of brain implant to download information about local pop groups or whatever. I mean, yeah. Spoiler alert. That turns out to not be anything or not be addressed. So yeah, if you're watching Zenon and thinking, why is Wyndham blinking? The answer is no reason at all.
The answer is to refresh his eyes.
Yeah, I mean, probably on set there was a lot of dry ice being pumped into his face.
Directly into his eyeballs. Yeah. But yeah, Zenon, after Lutz leaves the data core, she has locked herself in there and forgotten the code. So she does end up triggering an alarm. She's caught for being in the data core. And this is a big transgression. She's in trouble major, to use the slang of the film. And as punishment...
with chance of parole minor.
Yeah, chance of blowing an O-ring. Major.
Or minor, depending on your usage.
Whether it's a good thing or a bad thing. Anyway, Zenon is handed down the ultimate punishment. She's going to be grounded in a very literal sense.
I'm sorry, Z. Your mother and I have contacted your Aunt Judy.
She hates space. And you want to bring her up here to be my keeper?
You don't get it, Z. We're grounding you.
I understand that.
No, Z, I mean, we're really grounding you.
What?
So, yeah, Xenon's being exiled to Earth, which, according to her mother, is the worst place in the universe. Her mother's really putting some ideas in her head about Earth, I will say.
Yeah, and I don't really understand what exiling her to Earth serves, because at this point Wyndham has finished his inspection, right?
Yes.
So she can't
cause any more trouble.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it's a punishment, but...
I mean, she won't be on the space station when Microbe come up to do their concert, so that's... But then she could just be confined to her room while Microbe
she would be confined to quarters. I mean, although she would, knowing Zenon, she would probably wriggle like a little goblin into a vent.
Yeah.
And, sneak into Proto Zoa's green room.
Cover herself in trash juice and slide through the vents like a xenomorph.
So maybe Earth is the only way they can get her far away enough that she won't get to the Proto Zoa concert. In the end, even that is not far enough, and like a little goblin, she makes her way back.
Of course. The upshot is that Zenon has been exiled to the much cheaper to film on Earth. which is good news for the rest of the production.
Great news for the production at this point, because you are watching Zenon thinking, bloody hell, they threw everything at this. You know, the sets are incredible, the costumes are, well, you know, they're not incredible, they suck, but they look expensive, right?
Yeah, right.
And you know, and then you get to Earth and you're like, it's Vancouver in 1999.
Yeah, it's the Vancouver Convention Centre.
Yeah, it is the Vancouver Convention Centre.
Because it looks a bit futuristic.
Because it had some glass and some white bits of metal, yeah.
You notice, like, when Proto Zoa is shooting his to-camera bits for whatever the MTV equivalent is, it's outside that same building.
yeah, that's right. Because, you know, they obviously had it for the day.
Yeah.
And they got all they needed done. The way that they kind of handle Earth visually is to, as we've said, do nothing. But, like, they'll put up the occasional sign. So there'll be a sign that says, like, a solar vehicle recharging station. Or, my personal favourite, underground smoking tunnel. If you want to go smoke a cigarette in 2049, you have to go to an underground smoking tunnel.
Yeah. I think that's just a Canadian thing.
Oh, is it? Yeah.
Yeah. Like, it gets pretty cold.
Yeah.
You're probably thinking, like, oh, so what, they've just chucked Zenon down to Earth. What's she going to do there? She does have an aunt there, so they're sending her to live with her aunt.
Scrape
Judy.
a living in the blasted wasteland.
But yeah, it's a pretty cruel punishment, I will say, because Zenon hasn't been on Earth since she was 5. She leaves the spaceship and is immediately crushed by Earth's gravity.
Okay, yeah.
Gravity on the space station is 30% less.
The bone density. If only they'd concluded the research.
Bones shatter.
Also, can I just say, bone density is the least of Zenon's problems, because before she even, her body will acclimatise to, but before she walks off the ship, she does a little sneeze. Yeah, that's right, Zenon, you just contracted about 100 Earth diseases that you have no immunity to. They talk on the space station about, you know, oh man, it's so great up here, I've never even sneezed, and here's me in the post-pandemic world thinking, you're all going to die if you ever have to go to Earth. So
Zenon basically tumbles down the stairs of the spaceship, riddled with viruses, her bones shattered. And they're like, well, maybe that'll teach you to do teenage pranks.
Yeah, but, you know, Earth isn't all bad, because she goes to live with her aunt, who, by the way, cannot cook. She briefly mentions that she sucks at cooking. I would say this is more a punishment for the aunt. I wonder if the aunt did something bad to the mum.
She's also being punished.
Yeah, she's also being punished, because now she has full custody of
a trash goblin from space.
Of a diseased trash goblin. With very, very weak bones.
Constantly shattering a new bone.
Yeah.
Yeah, so now Zenon has to sort of get by on Earth.
Yeah.
So the film sort of abandons its main plot for a little bit, while we get some sort of fun fish out of water stuff with Zenon on Earth.
Yeah, there's a montage, isn't there? She goes swimming on her Earth school, and she's feeling pretty good about going for a swim until she falls into the water and just spins around thrashing wildly.
She swam through space, but she hasn't swum in real life. Nearly sets the lab on fire at school because they use centigrade instead of Fahrenheit. I think this is the point to talk about how weird the space station is, because up to this point, you see everything that's happening on the space station and you're like, oh, this is just how things are in the year 2049. This is the accepted way of things.
Because you're imagining either down on Earth, you're imagining Earth is a sort of Mad Max Fury Road blasted landscape
or it's just the same as it is up on the space station. It's just they're up in space.
Yeah, exactly.
But you get down to Earth and everything's just sort of normal and like the 90s.
It becomes clear as soon as you see it that this space station, over the 27 years that it's been orbiting Earth, has basically been
diverged from culture in a really profound way.
Well, the slang that Zenon's using is not the slang that they're using on Earth, right?
No,
so again,
this
is
all
not
their own terms. I wrote some of those down as well. If you want to
go
hear
on,
them.
yes, please, yes.
Yeah, they've got viral means bad.
Yeah.
So a viral extreme place, for example.
Sure.
Macro is good. It's macro that you grew up in space. Micro is bad. Graphic means beautiful.
I like that one.
Yeah, they've
graphic.
got all their own.
This landscape is
stuff.
totally graphic. Makes me want to blow an O-ring.
Good or bad? I don't know. But yeah, Earth kids are wearing regular clothes, like shirts and t-shirts and jeans.
Yeah, that's
Who
right.
is making these like mad space coat clothes?
Yeah, there's
kids
some unhinged haberdasher up on the space station
making like weird space clothes.
Burn your trousers, friends. I have a new fashion, and we will put our leaders in this purple regalia, resplendent in purple and gold.
He's wearing He looks like some kind of space admiral or something.
Yeah, he does. You're absolutely right. You realise that the space station has, gone completely off on a tangent for popular culture. They look like they're about a year away from marrying each other and then eating each other. It's like it's almost Lord of the Flies. Like what an odd little pocket community they've got going up there.
Also, all of the Earth children are called things like Greg and Margie. Zenon! Space station kids are called Zenon and Nebula. And one of them's called Lynx.
They've really embraced space life. Okay, Andy, imagine that you are Mr. Wyndham, okay? You live on Earth, and things are as they are on Earth. You pop up in the shuttle to just check on your investment. The doors hiss open. The Admiral meets you in his shining purple regalia.
The Vulcan salute.
Greetings.
Greetings, Earth creature.
We're happy to see you, Major. Ceetus-lupeedus, meet my son, Nebulon Jupiter.
What?
Oh no, you've coughed in my mouth and we're all dying now.
Oh, you're floating away because of our weird gravity.
When we
meet my son, my son Granulax will get you down with her.
It would be an honour to shake your hand. Crunch. Ah, my bones.
My bone density.
If I was Wyndham, I'd be like, okay. Yeah, I think I probably will shut this down.
I think maybe we should bring these people back every year or so.
Also, why is it the way that it is? Because, like, they're up there on the space station, they have schools and stuff.
Yeah.
Maybe just
there's a bit where Zenon sees a flower and she's like, what is this strange... Do they not learn about Earth in space? She watches TV, which is all produced on Earth. There isn't a space station TV station.
Yeah.
All the Microbe music videos are shot on Earth. See, she must have seen a flower, but she's like, what is this strange? What is this strange?
She looks upon the ocean with total awe.
Is it... Zenon was born on Earth and they called her Zenon.
No, they probably renamed her. Her name's probably Sarah.
Oh, yeah,
and then I imagine in like the year 2035, some sort of
cosmic baptism.
Yeah, cosmic baptism. Someone with like a religious artifact fashioned out of bits of old calculator.
Then meteorite.
Bathed in blood, rechristened her Zenon.
Oh.
The best analogy we have, right, is an Arctic research base, I think.
Yeah. If you went out if you owned an Arctic research base and you went out there and you got there and a guy was dressed in like an ice cloak and said, "Hello, my name is Permafrost."
This is my daughter Polar, and she's kind of dressed in sealskins.
Yeah,
brandishing a spear.
Glacier.
Yeah, Glacier. Yeah, well, I think if you were out there and you owned that Arctic base, you would probably say, "Why didn't we make this a regular Arctic base instead of funding expensive schools and habitats for an enormous population?"
Yeah, and also, let's rotate the scientists.
Bit of new blood would probably help.
It's basically a Fallout vault, isn't it, from the Fallout games?
Yes!
And those always go wrong.
Yeah.
Almost immediately.
Yeah, they all go wrong in, like, bizarre ways that you would never predict. Andy, as we've already discussed, this year is the year that the Zenon Space Day is going up into orbit. And
it's going to be stellanarious.
It's going to be stellanarious. And I want everyone on board to have a timeless look, that when it comes to 2049, will still be cool, or at least nostalgic and kind of retro.
Yeah, you'll still be able to wear it when the gravity regulators are exploding in your face and you're being sucked out into the vacuum. You'll still look good. You'll still look good, and you're going to achieve that by dressing everyone on board in Insert Coin clothing, because Insert Coin are the people who make cool, official clothes and other stuff based on the video games you love. And video games are timeless, Andy. Absolutely. When your frozen corpse crashes into the Pacific Ocean and is retrieved by NASA's body dredging ship robots, they're gonna pull that body on board, and they're gonna look at your t-shirt that you're wearing with such games as Dark Souls, The Last of Us, Life is Strange, Resident Evil, Streets of Rage, and the Yakuza games. And those robots are going to dispassionately throw your body into a furnace, but not before they remove that t-shirt and save it because that is important salvage.
They'll probably put it on themselves and wear it, and that'll be the birth of robot fashion. You know, have a robot walking around with a sort of fish-eaten, slightly burned up Ghost of Tsushima tee.
Absolutely. But if you want to get your own Insert Coin clothing, then you can use the code that we've been given by the lovely folks at Insert Coin who are sponsoring this episode, which is Spaced Out. It's SPACEDOUBT. Spaced Doubt.
Spaced Out.
Spaced Out. Codes give you 15% off, and they're not applicable on charity items, bundles, gift cards, postage, and some products at launch. Codes can't be combined with other deals or promotions, and they are valid until the end of 2022, so you'll definitely be able to get them before you go up on the space day.
And they will definitely survive re-entry. I'm pretty sure it says that on the website.
There's a carbon fibre weave in every garment that has been stress tested against the Earth's atmosphere. I'm pretty sure that's in there somewhere. Yeah, so it's quite the thing seeing Earth and realising how different it is to the space station, how profoundly the two societies have diverged in the last 27 years.
Well, Greg, who is, you know, a boy who she meets down there and, you know, in an odd kind of exchange of looks, falls immediately deeply in love with,
Yes.
and who, sidebar, is Alan from the film Small Soldiers, if you're familiar with
That's cool.
Small Soldiers. Greg tells Zenon, oh yeah, I've got a job on a ranch brushing horses.
Yeah, we've got some sets left over from Horse Scent.
Yeah, we've got some horses left over.
Joey Lawrence did kill a lot of them, but we've got a couple left.
This
so.
particularly hardy horse managed to survive.
Yeah, Zenon, who doesn't understand fruit or vegetables or money,
Yeah.
says, yeah, I'll come and look at a horse.
Yeah, and then she sees a horse and is absolutely terrified of its threatening size, as you would be if you had never encountered a horse. I mean, we don't have time to get into the minutiae of this at all because there's so much to talk about in this film, but isn't it weird that Greg works at a stable and he's like 13 years... Who's paying a 13-year-old like to brush? He implies later that he's getting paid by the horse, so he's like a kind of horse car wash.
I mean, we don't know how horsey intelligence has increased by 49.
Oh my
it's possible
God.
they have telepathic horses who can earn money and give it to stable hands
Chelsea
themselves.
Clinton is, of course, a horse. All of Earth's leaders are horses.
A horse is just DCOM shorthand for romance. I mean, first the Lawrence brothers and now this.
They are absolutely a DCOM shorthand for a very, very real, with a capital R, salt of the earth wisdom. And because that's what Greg has. He's like, hey, I don't have your space station slang. I just eat hamburgers and brush horses.
They go on a date together.
Yeah.
She wants to try all Earth food, so she orders everything at the restaurant at Greg's expense, and then eats one onion ring
and runs away.
Leaving
him to deal with the bill. Yeah.
Yeah, and then she's like, "Oh, your whole planet is one big mystery extreme." She's not an alien movie, and then she's astonished by rain.
Yeah,
it's like
the movie honestly treats her like an alien.
It really does. I think they got
a bit of another script
halfway through, or they just sort of forgot the premise, and they're like, "Oh yeah, let me get back to writing that Alien Girl movie."
Yeah,
I was writing.
Anyway, so Alien Girl falls in love with Earth Boy.
Of course, she's never seen rain before.
Yeah, she's never seen a flower or a horse
or money or fruit.
Yeah. Oh yeah, she doesn't know money. Yeah, she's like, oh yeah, money.
Yeah, we've evolved beyond that on
She
my
knows
planet.
money. They're trying to get more investment from Wyndham.
Right. Yeah, he's like $50 million, and everyone on the space station is like, ooh, they're not like, dollars?
Dollars means nothing to me.
What is dollars, Earthman?
Earthman's shiny paper. I can exchange it for a hamburger.
How many paper faces to keep station running?
Yeah.
Beep, beep,
Okay, we have to briefly talk about another one of the Earth children. Well, there are two more Earth children, right?
She's got a gang of rats.
There's a hacker boy, nerd boy called Andrew, and then much more importantly, there is a very cruel bullying girl called Margie.
Yes,
who doesn't have a huge role in this film, but you should know that Zenon is a trilogy.
Yes, she has a much expanded role in the sequel.
Yeah,
the sequel.
The sequel. So do pay attention to Margie's ridiculous antics.
Yeah. So Zenon discovers that the earring that she is wearing.
For listeners at this point, I can see Andy on video call. He has tented his hands. I can tell how hard he's concentrating because he is about to try and briefly and concisely and accurately sum up
the plot of this
plot of Zenon. Sorry, Andy, I
ridiculous
interrupted.
movie, yes.
Take it away.
Okay. Zenon, at this point in the film, discovers... Okay, how does she discover it? Zenon sees Lutz has been tailing her. Her aunt's home has been ransacked. She knows that Lutz is looking for something. She doesn't know what it is. Apropos of nothing, Greg says, maybe it's your earring.
Yep.
And then they realise that the earring is in fact the disc that Lutz dropped on the space station that was repurposed into an earring by Nebula. Zenon has it now. They need to access what's on the disc, so they take it to the world's greatest hacker,
Andrew.
a little boy called Andrew, who has a laptop. And Andrew is able to get into the disc and unlocks an animation of an egg hatching and a worm coming out, and then the worm goes in your computer, and then his computer explodes.
Yeah, and the implication is it's a very, like, Hackers, the film, visualization of a virus, but it is just that. It's a
highly sophisticated nanovirus.
Yeah, so sophisticated. And what it does is it basically gets into your computer, and slowly, and it eats away at all of the core systems, which is perhaps why it's a worm, because it's going into the core. Who knows? Of whatever system it inhabits. And Zenon deduces, because she knows that quite a lot of systems recently have been failing on the ship, right?
On
the space day. She deduces that perhaps what Lutz did was to infect the space day's mainframe with this deadly virus.
But much like the audience, I expect, no one can figure out why Wyndham would put a bug in his own space station.
I at this point I was wondering and eagerly anticipating. Well, no, I've seen enough DCOMs to not eagerly anticipate a satisfying answer to that question. But I imagine if this was your first DCOM, you might be thinking, "Ooh, can't wait to find out."
This puzzle box to reveal itself.
I can't wait for this to unlock.
But so Zenon, armed with this knowledge, calls her parents to try and get them to bring her back up. But they think that she just wants to come back up so she can go to the Microbe concert.
Yeah.
Her mum is like, look, I know how traumatic Earth can be. Something awful must have happened to her mum.
Yeah, right. Also, I think something awful happened to her and her sister Judy, because Zenon has a conversation with Aunt Judy where she says, hey, Aunt, with that kind of teenage... kind of brashness. She says, "Hey, Aunt Judy, why don't you ever go to space? And why did you never get married?
Why are you alone?
Yeah, why don't you have kids, Aunt Judy?" And the answer to all of these questions, as Judy readily confesses, is because she's a coward.
It's because something traumatic happened to them.
Something traumatic clearly happened involving space that also put Aunt Judy off getting married or having kids. I assume she saw a family explode in space.
Yeah. That's definitely what happened.
It's the only conclusion to draw. Also in that 90s and also, very Disney way, why would you not be married? Why would you not have kids? Well, cowardice is the answer, of course.
Of course.
Brave people are doing both those things.
And I can only watch from the outside like the coward I am. But Zenon's parents are having none of it. They hang up on her and they say, wow, Zenon, she's always right about everything. Anyway, let's not listen. So she's got to find her own way back up to the space station, because the only way that they can stop this virus from killing everyone on board is by introducing a retrovirus that Andrew, the little boy, has made.
Yeah,
on
it's
his
the
exploded laptop.
It's the undo program. It's like, do you remember computers used to have an uninstaller, like a kind of like a separate .exe when you wanted to uninstall a program? It's like that. He's made the uninstaller.
He's made the uninstaller, Andrew the hacker, who is like 9.
He's cracked it.
I think the initial plan, she was going to get Lutz to give her a flight back in exchange for the disc, but Lutz double crosses her. But Zenon triple crossed him by painting a regular disc with mirrored nail polish.
This is so complicated.
And yet somehow the disc is still readable and has an animation of Zenon as a Jack-in-the-Box on it.
Yeah, I really don't understand this. She gives it to Lutz and he's like, aha, now the disc, the virus that I needed, the evidence I needed to conceal. And he puts it in his computer and there's an animation of Zenon being like, you didn't say the magic word, And it's like, Zenon, why didn't you just leave the disc blank? Now you've tipped your hand that like now he knows that you've tricked him. Just don't program in a flash animation of you dancing around gleefully.
Must have taken ages.
Yeah.
Okay, so that method is out. She can't get a lift back from Lutz.
Yeah.
So the next one is that she tries to get she gets Nebula to tell her the schedule for the supply ships to go back and forth.
Yes, because weirdly, the only way that you can travel to and from this space station is by a kind of sort of regular supply shuttle. Mm-hmm. That, crucially, and this is important, only has enough fuel for a one-way trip.
Yes.
So going to the space station is a hell of a risk. If you get to that space station and you open the door and they've all gone feral and eaten each other, you're not getting home.
They formed a weird space society. They're baptizing you in the name of the Space Pope. But yeah, so they race to the Windcom airfield, which is next to the Vancouver Convention Centre. That's where all the shuttles take off from. They run up, but they're too late. They see the shuttle taking off. So that's two ways she could have got back to the space station.
Now there's no way.
It seems like they're out of luck. But wait, there's one more avenue open to Zenon.
Mr. Zoa, it's me, Zenon Kar, your contest winner. Listen, I don't have a lot of time to explain, but it's urgent major. You have to believe me. You're my one and only hope.
Hold on, it is you, isn't it?
Gotcha now, kid. Game over. Sorry about this, Mr. Zoa. We'll get her out of here at once.
No, tell them. You have to tell them. It's urgent in the viral extreme.
Let's go.
Gentlemen, you obviously don't know who this is.
All we know is that we have orders to deliver to Mr. Wyndham.
What, and disappoint all my adoring, disbuying fans who are waiting to see me dance with her up there in space? I don't think so, boys.
So it's Microbe, the band. They're going to the space station for their gig.
For the big concert.
For the big concert.
And Zenon is expected. So even though Wyndham is right there giving a press conference, her hated enemy Wyndham and Lutz, she expertly infiltrates backstage of this press conference by walking in with some trays of drink.
With some drinks.
Now, you're probably thinking, won't security spot that and tail her in and stop her? And the answer is yes. Two security goons do follow her in and say, I'm sorry, Zenon, you can't be here. But by this point, she's already talked to Proto Zoa, her hero.
Yeah, and he's like, I don't think so, boys.
Yeah, well, actually, he says, yeah, Zenon, you can come up to the space station. And then the security dudes are like, I'm sorry, no, she can't. That's a huge breach of protocol. We have to, any variance in weight from what we're expecting on this space flight will doom us all and we'll fly into the sun. And Proto Zoa says to them, do you want to be Wyndham's monkeys all your life, or do you want to pursue a career in rock and roll?
Rock and roll!
Now, what does he mean by this? We never find out. We never see them again.
Well, they do loosen their collars.
They loosen their collars.
Have a drink.
I guess it's implied that they join his road crew.
Yeah. Or just like his kind of entourage.
Or
maybe.
Inspired to pursue their own musical career. When it's
yeah, that's true.
We don't know. I love that Proto Zoa, wherever he goes, has the get out of just saying to anyone, or do you fancy a career in rock and roll?
Rock and roll. And they're like, hey, I could become a rock and roll musician. Thanks, Proto Zoa.
Such is the magnetism of Proto Zoa.
Proto Zoa is amazing.
I think Proto Zoa is amazing. Proto Zoa, I wish, you know what, there is much more Proto Zoa content in subsequent Zenon films.
Yeah.
But
they know what side their bread is buttered on and they lean heavily into Proto Zoa.
Yeah, although in the third film they recast Proto Zoa catastrophically.
Well, yeah, because the actor was too good and charismatic.
Yeah, and unfortunately landed some better acting jobs.
Basically at this point it's revealed that Wyndham's evil plan is to destroy the space station with this virus, along with the loss of everyone on board, including Microbe, who they are sending up to do this concert specifically at the point that the space station will self-destruct, because that will somehow distract people, even though that's bound to get it way more publicity than it would have got otherwise.
So the plan is blow it up for the insurance money, right?
Yes.
The space station is, I guess, heavily insured, and
Sure.
Wyndham wants to blow it up for the insurance money. Wyndham thinks this thing's going to explode. He's going to get a huge insurance payout. Here's how this actually plays out, Wyndham, your plan, okay? Day one, the spaceship explodes. It's an enormous, catastrophe.
Yeah, hundreds of people dead.
Hundreds of people dead, and that's before you count the wreckage that's going to burn up in the atmosphere, probably crash down on a crowded metropolitan area.
Onto the Vancouver Convention Centre.
The fact that Microbe are on board is a sort of, it's a sort of sixth paragraph in the news story kind of aspect of this. When you're reading this on the BBC News, when you're reading it on CNN, it's a footnote because it is eclipsed by the enormous humanitarian tragedy that is the loss of all hands on this space station. Mm-hmm. That's what happens in the first few hours. In the next few hours, press surround the Wyndham buildings. Obviously, everyone wants to know, how did this happen? Are you responsible? Did you know this could happen?
It seems like, according to these reports filed by the space station, that there were a lot of maintenance problems that weren't being addressed in the run-up to this terrible accident.
Yeah.
It seems like things were going wrong on an almost daily basis.
Day 2, the FBI have entered Wyndham HQ and are seizing documents. Fast forward 6 months, Wyndham goes to prison for gross criminal negligence.
Yeah.
It's possible that a baying mob assassinates him on the way to trial,
No, absolutely. He's dragged out into the street, beaten to death with shoes and rocks.
Yeah, Wyndham seems to think that actually what will happen is the space station will blow up. His insurer will go, yes, of course, you insured this. Why does he have a space station if it's not making more money than he could make from blowing it up for the insurance?
It doesn't even seem like his company is the sort of company that would have a space station to research bone density. They're a communications company.
Yeah, it's very odd. And then they kind of maybe through merger upon shell company or whatever, maybe they inherited this kind of odd research wing. But if it's not making money, the way to make your money back is to sell it, not to blow it up. Yeah. I would imagine capitalism ensures that you can't get more money from blowing something up for the insurance, or else Jeff Bezos would detonate every Amazon warehouse, right, for the enormous insurance payout.
I mean, let's hope he hasn't done that in the time between recording and this podcast going out.
And let's hope that that's not something you can do and that he doesn't listen to this podcast and realise
it's Jeff Bezos listening. Hang on. Wait a minute.
Simply detonate my business for the insurance money.
He looks over at the Tesla factory opposite, which detonates. They're all doing it.
Oh, no. Quick. Every iPhone explodes.
Disneyland explodes.
Anyway, as if Wyndham's plan wasn't bad enough, he has also accidentally transported himself to the space station at the point where it's going to explode.
Okay. All right, okay.
Explain how this happens. Explain how this came to be.
He does do that. But it's because... Okay. Aunt Judy drives up in her futuristic 2001 VW Beetle, and she says Zenon is here, and he says she can't possibly be, and then he looks over and sees Zenon running onto the ship, knowing that Zenon could undo all his plans. So him and Lutz run on board the ship, which is heading towards the thing that's going to.
You would think he would see Zenon boarding the ship, think, "Oh, good, Zenon will be blown up."
Zenon will also die in the space station.
He doesn't know that Zenon has a way of undoing the catastrophic virus.
He doesn't. So he runs on board the doomed ship.
He doesn't send security to get her or anything. Him and Lutz run onto the doomed ship. And then, in an odd bit of unfortunateness, the shuttle takes off. He is briefly knocked off balance, accidentally opens the door to the hold, falls into the hold. Zenon, seeing this, slides down to the hold as the ship's taking off and presses the hold lock button, locking Lutz and Wyndham in the hold. As we covered on the Johnny Tsunami episode, holds of vehicles like this, planes, space shuttles, aren't traditionally, wastefully treated to the same oxygen and temperature control as the rest of the ship.
There does appear to be some sort of airlock between the passenger cabin and the hold, certainly. So their frozen corpses are later
the frozen corpse of Wyndham is going to slide out onto the tarmac.
Where it shatters. They do eventually get let out once the ship arrives at the space station, but not before Zenon has managed to sort of get a head start on them. And the space station things are really
it's in dire straits now. Everything's falling
it's minutes away from self-destructing at this point. Zenon's mum is like, "Oh, this was supposed to be the safe place to live. What happened?
What happened to you?
What happened to you, Xenon's
As she
mum?
puts on
Astrid
the
Kar.
stress helmet, rocking back and forth in the corner.
But anyway, Zenon has the undo virus. And initially people don't want her to do it. But there's literally 10 seconds until the whole place detonates. So, I mean, what's the worst that can
I
happen?
would say let Zenon type.
So Zenon uploads the antivirus, but then she has to sort of enter a series of codes, most of which are wrong.
Yeah, also the code is a string of symbols. It's like the Wingdings
It's Wingdings.
font. Yeah,
it's a Wingdings.
So
she's typing in Wingdings.
So she's typing. She's going like wrong. Wrong. 10 seconds, 8 seconds, 5 seconds.
What's she typing?
I don't know, because it's a string of what, like 8, 9 characters? There are trillions of combinations. I would think.
And also, this was described as a sort of automatic undo thing. So you just put it in and it undoes. It wasn't like, and then you enter the password. And I'm not going to tell you what that is, so you'll have to guess.
But you know what? Like for a movie, it would totally make sense that you would have a kind of exciting point right before the bomb detonates, where you have to enter one final passcode. But oh no, Zenon doesn't know what it is. So you're thinking, well, what's going to happen? Is someone...
She has to think back to her adventures.
She has to think back to her adventures. What has she learned? Or remember something precious about Wyndham. Maybe Wyndham got to set the password. Or perhaps Wyndham could burst in and go, I don't want to die. I confess. I did it. And here's the passcode to save us all.
Man, so many great ways you could have...
So off the dome, so many good ways that you could satisfactorily resolve this. Instead, Zenon, astronomical odds... types a code and it's right, and everyone goes, hooray, Zenon did it.
The undo virus has saved everyone.
Yeah, the undo virus does its wonderful work immediately.
Virus deactivated.
Yeah, now,
it says.
I think the virus that's eating away at the systems, I don't think that's the kind of thing that you can just sort of undo. I think it's actually doing pretty, it's causing systems to do mechanical, physical harm to themselves.
Yeah, a lot of things exploded.
Yeah.
So if you've got like an air filtration system that explodes, and then you deactivate the virus, it's still exploded.
Yes, yeah, quite right. But the space station just immediately stops. Again, this is the point where the DCOM makers are like looking at their watches. The pubs are open.
The golf course links stretch invitingly away. The afternoon lies ahead.
Yeah, everything's fine, and then the Admiral, in it resplendent in his who also by this point, within 1 second, has looked at Aunt Judy and fallen in love with her, and she with him.
Yeah, they're deeply in love and all over each other.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
She's gotten over her cowardice of love.
Lutz and Wyndham are arrested by the power of the space police.
Yeah, he has no authority to do this. But you know what? At this point, it's basically a rogue state. You know what? The space station
seceded from the Union, and they're just... Yeah, so he can do whatever he wants. It's his own fiefdom up there in space.
Yeah.
So yeah, we go. That's all wrapped up, and we finish with a Microbe concert, the one that was promised,
which is absolutely glorious. I mean, there's barely anyone there. The audience is tiny. In an act of glorious magnanimity, Zenon gives her one special dance with Proto Zoa to Nebula, her friend, for being so loyal and good.
Did you notice in this scene that Proto Zoa is dressed like the doll of Proto Zoa that Zenon made?
What?
He's wearing like a black shirt and a silver jacket. It's exactly the clothes that Zenon put on the little Proto Zoa doll.
That's brilliant. I mean, at this point, Microbe are described as a rock band. That all goes out the window when they start playing this kind of...
Oh, we hear their song.
Oh,
yeah, zoom.
You know what, screw it. Let's just play a few seconds.
Interplanetary megastellar hydrostatic. There's no gravity between us. Our love is automatic. Zoom, zoom, zoom. Make my heart go. My supernova girl. Make my heart go. My supernova girl. Make my heart go. My supernova girl. Make my heart go. My supernova girl.
It's strange, isn't it, that the lyrics are all just unrelated scientific terms linked together.
Yeah, they are. It's also weird that that's a big hit on Earth, whereas we know they're not really that into space in general.
Whereas they've kind of made it their whole personality. The 300 people who live on this one space station.
Yeah, I think it's a pretty sweet scene. I think the dancing.
Proto Zoa teaches Nebula the dance. It is just sort of jigging around on the spot.
Yeah. Oh, and there's a point where in the song there's the sound of an aeroplane, and at that point you extend your arms like an aeroplane and sort of fly around.
Yeah, you can see why this is a sort of hot sex god rock star.
Yeah, you can see why this is a massive hit. Yeah,
exactly.
I love Microbe. I love Proto Zoa.
They're great, and that's how the movie ends. We go out on a great Microbe concert. What do you think of Zenon? Do you think it was a good DCOM or a bad DCOM?
I think it's an interesting one to review straight after Johnny Tsunami, which in terms of its, reach and scope is much less ambitious and tells a much smaller story, but I think is a much better film.
Does a better job of telling a story.
Yeah, exactly. Zenon is messy, but the world it creates is absolutely batshit, and I loved watching Zenon again. The attention to detail is great.
It's like the 13th Year, where they just haven't interrogated the sort of lore of this society.
This problem is only going to get worse when we get to Zenon the sequel and Z3.
Z3, yeah, that's right.
Things get even more buck wild and only less consistent.
But I think it is one of the DCOM pillars. Again, Zenon is up there with 13th Year and Brink and all those.
It's a big one.
Ones,
also, I would imagine. I mean, I don't have any evidence for this, but I would imagine that Disney aired it maybe more regularly than the other DCOMs because they have to make the money back.
Sure.
On this, on what is clearly, a fairly spendy. Visually DCOM. I think the best thing in it are the band Microbe, the character Proto Zoa, and the slang. Those are the things actually that I think if you Google around, this is one of the DCOMs that people remember the most fondly, and those are the aspects of it that have especially endured. Not the stupid plot with the virus. That doesn't make any sense. No. It's the slang. It's the kind of general aesthetic, and it's this hit boy band.
The core cast are very good. Kirsten Storms as Zenon, Philip Reese as Proto Zoa, and Raven Simone as Nebula are all very good.
It's a great DCOM, and I'm super happy and relieved now, Andy, because I do feel like we managed to, in some way.
I think we got there.
Oh boy. Okay. Any other business? I want to talk about the 13th Year, Andy.
Okay.
Well, actually, let's start with this. We've had, as usual, loads of lovely reviews, loads of emails. If you want to get in touch with the podcast and send us some curios to talk to in the Any Other Business section, then you can at momcan'tcookpod@gmail.com. I want to call out this message that we got from the Space siblings, Baby Space and Brother Space. Appropriate for Zenon, but it's actually an email about the 13th Year. And as well as some very, very astute observations about the film, Baby Space points out that at the 35-minute mark in the 13th Year, there is a tiny, tiny Kristen Stewart in line at the water fountain.
Yes.
Go look.
She's got to be, like 10?
She looks absolutely tiny. I mean, it's as soon as you see her, it's like, oh, Kristen Stewart.
Tiny Kristen Stewart.
Yeah. So, it's fine if you don't watch these DCOMs. I said that quite passive aggressively, but it really is fine. But find a screenshot of Kristen Stewart in the 13th Year because a very, very early acting role for her. And I also just wanted to address, because many people have been writing in to basically make the point that Cody isn't in his 13th year.
Yeah, so he turns 13, which means he's now in his 14th year.
And let me just assure you, listeners, that Andy and I talked about this on the podcast for about
10 minutes.
About 10 minutes, and I ended up cutting it all out because it was very confusing.
It was really very dry.
Yeah.
I will put my hands up and say I had no idea what Luke was talking about.
I was basically like, Andy, if you're a 1-year-old baby, how many months have you... The confusion comes from the fact that the film puts up on screen 13 years later. Also confusing the facts are,
You're doing it again.
I'm doing it. You're right. Oh, God, you're doing it. I'm not going to get into it, because I already had to cut all of this out, and you know what? Nothing of value was lost, except a bit where Andy and I talked about what would have happened if the mermum had flopped up on the boat and given birth right there in front of the parents.
Why don't you just put that on the end of this episode?
No.
There's a clip.
All right, maybe. Okay, listen after the music. Maybe I'll include just a few out-of-context moments of Andy and I talking about a mermaid giving birth.
Well, thanks for listening, folks, to this discussion of Zenon, girl of the 21st century. Next episode, we'll be moving into October, the spookiest, scariest, eeriest, creepiest month of all.
Finally.
In which Halloween lies. And so we're moving on to some scary DCOMs.
Yep.
And I think the obvious choice, and the direction we absolutely have to go for the first one of these, is Halloween Town.
Oh.
So that's going to be our next Disney Channel original movie. We're going to watch Halloween Town. Would you like me to read you the synopsis?
Yes, please.
Marnie and her younger siblings travel with their estranged grandmother, who is a good witch, to Halloween Town, a place where creepy creatures lead very normal lives. On her 13th birthday, so her 14th year, Marnie gets a supernatural surprise when she discovers that she too is a witch. Marnie will have to learn how to use her broomstick if she hopes to stop an evil force from taking over Halloween Town.
The Halloween Town episode may well just be a dispassionate description of every single monster in Halloween Town.
Yes, please.
I can't promise that it won't be. But yeah, it's absolute gold. I can't wait.
Yeah, this movie rips, and I can't wait to rewatch it.
You have to give this podcast 5 stars now, if you haven't already. You have to.
Yes, please do leave us a review.
No point
leave us
saying
a
please,
rating.
Andy. They have to.
Oh, sorry. You have to leave us a review. You have to leave us a rating. Thank you very much to people who have. Professor Vod, Henry T. number 312, The Matt Attack UK, Claire Travels, Athorist73 and Naravus, just to name a few. Thank you very much for leaving reviews for Mom Can't Cook. We really appreciate it.
Thank you all. And if you want to put some Mom Can't Cook merch on your body, or perhaps on your laptop, or on your wall, then why not go to momcan'tcookstore.com and check out the merch we have available. It's pretty fun, and presumably by the time you check this, there'll be a T-shirt that says "I just blew an O-ring."
I just blew an O-ring. Yeah, and then everyone got all gaseous on me. Luke, I think it's Macro that you grew up in space. Thanks for listening, everyone.
It gave me bone density minor. I've done the maths. It's just possible that but I'm pretty sure that they just made a mistake, because they don't find a 0-year-old baby. That would be like the mermaid crawling into their boat to give birth.
Which the cowardice of the filmmakers doesn't allow them to show.
You know what? I bet in the script it says the mermaid flops into the back of the boat and noisily births a little baby.
Ejects a cloud of eggs onto the deck.
And then a passing merman fertilizes them. But
in a long, unflinching scene, a passing merman.
But on the day, the director was like, "We're not going to do this. We're just going to put 13 years up on the screen."
Don't you mean 12 and a half? Whatever, I don't care.